Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. And we're broadcasting 2 hours this morning from high atop the Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Tom is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli. We're going to be teaching homeschool today with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. I need a little bit more volume, please. Well, no, I can't
Rick,
hear you.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you, sir.
Well, how do you know?
I haven't been sleeping well. I've got some kind of a sleep disorder, and so I'm working on half cylinders. Sorry about that.
Half that would be if you have a V12, right?
I'm sorry? Vitamin B12?
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
No, if you're running on half cylinders, that would be 6 because you usually have a V12, right?
Okay. I sleep for less than 1 hour, and then I have to get up or I get sick from a jaw inflammation. I don't know what it is. Norm said that he needs to actually physically see me to get a better sense of what might be going on. I've had this for about 2 years. It's starting to increase a little bit, and now I'm not getting sleep. And so I'm working on half my brain. I'm not even awake yet, but I'm good to go. Are you there?
I'm here. Okay.
You.
Rick, I have a really long delay. We're looking, it was about 2,000 milliseconds or 2 seconds, but I think I just fixed it just now. Okay, so
good.
Rick, we're going to be teaching homeschool today. We've got our 4th grader and 5th graders from California. We have Mason, who's in 4th grade. He's 10 years old. We have Matthew, who's in 5th grade. He's 11 years old. And they have been busy with their mom, Missy. And Missy and her boys have been busy writing questions that they wanted to ask you. And I've received several pages of these questions. So I have them ahead of time. And they are absolutely fabulous. So for those of you who are older than 10 and 11 years old, you're going to learn some science that you might have covered in school, but you really need to revisit this. And I'm very serious. Fabulous, brilliant questions. You know, the kind of questions that, high school science students might ask, or even college students might ask.
Well, it challenged me. I had to look things up to be able to articulate it more correctly. I know most of these answers, and so I'm going to try to wing it on half cylinders again, but I had to look a lot of this stuff up myself because I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, really, these are really, really impressive questions. So why don't we start first with Mason? So Mason is our, Mason's our 4th grader. And,
he's the 4th grader? Wow. Wow. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Hey, Rick, seriously. Now, in a good way, don't you think Mason is going to be challenging his instructors, once he gets to the university level? Don't you think he's going to give them a run for their money?
Well, he's already working. Some of the questions are grade school and high school questions, but the way they're articulating them, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Okay, Mason, so why don't you go first with your very first question, please?
Wind.
I'm sorry, Mason. Can you start over, please?
What is the difference between solar wind and air wind?
What kind of wind? I didn't see that question.
What is the difference between solar
wind
and air
wind? Well, solar wind is basically electromagnetic waves. That means it's in a totally different bandwidth than air, which is a much larger particle. Solar is coming off usually from the sun, that's solar, and air is wind movement, which has dust, particles, and other kinds of things in it. A solar wind also has particles in it, but it's being generated and motion moved by electromagnetic radiation, a very high frequency, completely different. So it's like 3 or 4 orders of magnitude smaller, solar wind. It's also way more dangerous than a hurricane.
Rick, when we studied solar winds, we never really got into what they were. We just were told that there are
solar wind, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting to learn the difference.
What it is, it's a particle that has been ejected off the sun at a very high speed, way higher than air. Air can't move as fast as solar winds. Solar winds can move almost at the speed of light, where air wind is very slow, much slower than the speed of sound.
Mason,
Even
do you have
a hurricane, you're still only at about 200 or 300 miles an hour. So air is moving much, much slower than a solar wind that's coming off as a light particle. It's smaller, moves real fast.
Mm-hmm. Mason, do you have another part of that question?
Yeah. What would happen if solar wind got through the Earth's atmosphere?
It would fry and just damage everything. When you have something moving at that high a velocity, you have a thing called momentum, which means it has force behind it. And so, because it's so small, you don't notice it. But that's what the atmosphere does, is it absorbs most of that radiation so that it doesn't actually hit you. That's what our atmosphere is. It's like a protective shield. So when you go into space, you don't have that shield. And even though you might think you have a steel rocket ship cover around you, that essentially is porous in comparison to the smallness of the radiation. And that radiation, especially if it's in the gamma ray band, will go right through that steel and hit a cell in your body. Now, when that radiation hits, it causes that cell to be damaged. That's what we call cancer. And so you don't have a lot of protection when you're in outer space. Even though you think you do, it takes a lot of thickness of things like lead to absorb that. That's what the atmosphere does. It absorbs and protects life on Earth from the sun.
Doesn't the spacesuit protect you?
No, that's the real serious problem. It might protect you against microparticles that are in space, but like your one question, if you took your helmet off, you're going to not only be frozen, you're going to get hit with a bunch of particles that are larger that the suit might otherwise absorb or bounce off of. But when you talk about solar winds, now you're talking about frequencies that go right through those kinds of material as if they're transparent. And that's why going into space is not that simple and is quite dangerous to astronauts. Once they go through the Van Allen belt, if they make it through there okay without getting radiated too badly, now they're probably never going to have children again because of the damage that gamma rays and other kinds of radiation, solar radiation or solar winds that are coming off have a way of going right through that kind of material, and the astronaut is really basically semi-unprotected. It's a risk. That's one of the things that astronauts do to try to go into space and further mankind. It's dangerous.
Mason, do you have a follow-up question?
Yeah. Which one's more deadly, speed or heat?
Well, say what again?
Which one's more deadly, speed or heat?
I'm not getting the question.
Rick, the question is, which is more deadly, speed or heat?
Well, heat and speed are related to each other, aren't they? It has to do, heat is a bandwidth of frequencies that are near the infrared, and speed is related to that because of the wavelength and how quickly that wavelength recycles itself. You know, if you up in the higher ends, infrared is low band, that's red. When you get up into the blue, you have what would be called more speed, but the two are not related in that regard. They're related to wavelength and how quickly that wavelength recycles itself. That's a difficult question for me to answer because speed is not heat, and yet heat is related to speed by the wavelength. I know that didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. How do I explain it more? Heat is not as damaging as ultraviolet to certain parts of your body. Each part of your body has a relationship to speed in that regard. Heat is dangerous because you can burn yourself, but gamma rays are very high speed and they're much, much more dangerous. Because of their smallness, there's nothing that can absorb it. Heat can be absorbed. What you do is you put on less clothing.
Mason, do you have a follow-up question for after the break?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
I do.
That was challenging for me.
Well, I've got a question, Rick, and my question relates to the neutron bomb and the relationship to these particles, this solar wind. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you suffering from EP? The symptoms include fraudulent charges to your credit card. Your subway card says it's empty, but you bought it yesterday. Someone's been in your hotel room, but the desk clerk says they only show you entering the room. These are signs of EP, electronic pickpocketing. Payment cards, transit cards, even hotel room keys use a radio, so you can just wave your card at the register, the turnstile, or your hotel room door. But what's convenient for you is also convenient for thieves, waving scanners to electronically pickpocket you without even touching you. The good news is there's a cure. ID Stronghold has created leather wallets and clutches that have built-in EP protection, layers of shielding material cleverly concealed in a beautiful leather wallet that stops the symptoms of EP. Go to idstronghold.com now and get the cure. idstronghold.com. Warning, ID Stronghold wallets could lead to feelings of safety and security, comfort in crowds, and euphoria. If you experience these emotions, immediately inform your friends and family about idstronghold.com so they can feel better too.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and we are teaching homeschool today. And our homeschool students are from California. Mason is in 4th grade. He's 10 years old. Matthew is in 5th grade. He's 11 years old. And Missy is their mom. And she's been homeschooling these absolutely brilliant children. And Rick, as a follow-up, I had a question about, years ago we learned about this new device called the neutron bomb. And I'm wondering how close the neutron bomb is to the solar wind that Mason was asking you about, the dangers of solar wind, high speed, tiny particles. And those we were told were, it's a great weapon because it can kill people without destroying infrastructure. So it wasn't like a blast of an atomic weapon. It was these tiny particles that would go right through you and destroy life, but not destroy buildings. Is that similar to the solar wind, Rick?
Yes and no. Yes, in that mostly we talk about alpha, beta, and gamma rays. And alpha would be your proton, beta would be your electron, and gamma, of course, is a high-end radiation thing. Neutrons bombs are about neutrons which are zero charge or balanced charge. And that means this high-end particle can go through anything and will hit, body organ cells and disrupt them, kill them. Whereas it doesn't do anything to metal or buildings, cement, whatever. Whereas the electron and mostly the gamma rays will actually bond with other elements and then cause an explosion where it will destroy steel and things like that, melt it, if you will, like a temperature kind of thing. So a neutron is a perfect weapon to kill biological life, whereas it won't destroy. And the sun, of course, is emitting all of it. And so with that, that's what the absorption coefficient is in our atmosphere, where it can absorb the alpha and beta rays, easily, beta being electron, excuse me. And so this has been so long since I've studied it, from this point of view, that to look at it from this point of view is difficult even for me because I haven't used it in so many years. But the solar winds are high-end speed, and so there's your speed part, not your heat part. The sun, you feel the heat because that part of the radiation is not absorbed as much by the atmosphere, and you can feel that more. It is also not as high energy, and so it doesn't actually go into the body. It just goes to the surface of the body, and you can feel it with your nerves and things of that nature. Now, you take a gamma ray, and that's going to go right through it. And a neutron is so small, it will go through almost anything. And so it'll hit biological processes and disrupt cells in your body, that kind of thing. Very bad.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah.
Mason.
You want to add
Matthew.
to that? I'm,
Matthew.
like I said, working on half cylinders today, and so I'm not sure that there's a better way to explain that. A neutron is a high-end particle that can do a lot of damage because it's a little larger than an electron. And because it's larger, quite a bit larger actually, it will hit organ cells. And at some point, if you have enough of them, the organ's gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Isn't it sad that
it can kill
isn't it sad
biological life very quickly?
Yeah. Isn't it sad that we have people who are thinking about these evil things? But Matthew, you're in fifth grade.
I'll say one thing, and that people need to hear this. I don't know who it is in Gaza, but neutron bomb has been used as most recently as last week, and they are deploying that weapon everywhere now in the Middle East. And I don't know who's doing it, but there it is. You can see the spikes. That weapon now does exist on a small level. It's a tactical nuclear bomb, but it's not nuclear. It's a fusion bomb. And it's being deployed now everywhere. And that'd be like having a mini sun being dropped in the middle of everything.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Class, we're teaching homeschool today with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Matthew's going to be up next, and I have just a quick announcement. In just a little over a couple of weeks, there's a preparedness show. It's RK Prepper Shows. And in Fletcher, North Carolina, on June 20th and 21, I'll be there. So June 20 and 21, Saturday and Sunday, Fletcher, North Carolina, at the WNC Agricultural Center in Fletcher, North Carolina. I'll be speaking about using business deductions, starting your own business, and using the tax deductions to prepare. I'm going to tell you how to do it. And I'm also going to be talking about fantastic lies that the government has been telling for years and years. And the reason I'm going to tell you about that is so that when we're no longer available on the radio, you'll be able to discern the truth for yourself. That's the plan. So that's RK Prepper Shows. And some of your USAPrepares.com instructors will be there. I'll make those announcements over the next week or so, who's going to be there, but I will be there. June 20 and 21 at Fletcher, North Carolina. And there's a link on the website, USAPrepares.com, page 1 right now. Matthew, you're a fifth grader, and you've got some science questions for Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Why don't we go with your first question?
What is in pepper that can make static electricity pick it up?
You know, there's a link where that is actually a science fair project that you might want to do as an experiment. I sent it to you. It's a Galileo plays Virginia Ed. And and I sent you a link on that. The pepper has ions that salt does not. What salt is a does not have ions on it. That's why it's a base. It's a salt. Pepper has an ion that hangs out. That means a positive charge. That when you have an electric charge of negative, it will create static electricity, where a salt, by definition, will not. And the experiment I sent you is a way to demonstrate that with a variety of different things. A base salt has no real ions to grab on, so static electricity can't exist with a base salt. That's what they call it, a base. It's balanced. I never even did that kind of an experiment in high school, much less. So I'm impressed that you're doing it, and you're not even in high school yet. Kind of cool. It looks to me like your mom's trying to make you into a super person. Yeah? How do you feel about that? Asking questions that even I'm having difficulty understanding.
Missy, I've got a question for Missy.
Yeah.
And the question is, do you find that your children are a real challenge when it comes to science? To help them with all of these questions that they have, because they're not surface questions. They want the deep answers.
Yes, it's challenging. I have my iPad a lot, so I'm constantly looking up answers to questions, and I say a lot of times, I don't know, let's look it up. So.
Well, you know what's interesting about this? I think it helps the intellectual growth of mom, dad, and the students. What do you think?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm learning a lot now that either I didn't learn in school or, I just wasn't paying attention, to be honest, in school. So.
And
that's
just
why
as
a lot of teachers teach, is because they actually learn more than the student.
Yes, yes, I do. And the homeschool classes that I teach also, I typically pick subjects that I'm interested in, want to learn more about. And so I find myself, learning quite a lot by preparing the class. And that's fun for me. I enjoy that.
Missy, would you suggest that the typical student in our broadcast classroom who has young children, would you suggest that they embark on homeschooling their children?
Most definitely, I would suggest that they do. It's a great experience. The children get to, like this show, ask the questions that they're interested in and pursue subjects that they're interested in. I still make them do the subjects they're not interested in, like writing, for example. They're boys, they'd rather go out and play in the mud or, scooter than write. But it's interesting that if they have a subject that they want to learn about, they will do those things that they're not interested in, like writing, for example. They started their first writing class for the summer yesterday, and they both say, I don't like writing. But yesterday afternoon, we were watching YouTube and learning about how to put together a computer. And they were both mesmerized by it. It was a 30-minute video, and it was very slow, but they were both watching it with intensity. And then Mason says, I want to write all that down. And I said, okay. So he sat there very intently, playing it for a little while, then pausing it and writing it all down. And there were 72 steps to putting this computer together. And so I'm like, oh, okay, he doesn't like writing, but he's sitting there writing, and that's, dictation too, because he has to remember what he said and then write it down. And then, push play again and then pause it. And he sat there for a long time doing that. So,
I started writing, and when I came out of college, I had studied physics, but when I started working for Boeing, I had to make a report of what I did in the experiments that I did. And that's when I got exposed to frog index and scientific writing to be distinguished differently from normal prose. And I had no idea that I was going to end up being a writer, and that's my joy, is writing, where I take something and explain it to somebody else. And I'm not doing a very good job today because I'm on half cylinders, but tell you the truth, I had no idea I was going to enjoy writing as much as I do when I was in college. And so at 5th grade and 4th grade level, I didn't even know how to read.
Yeah. Well,
I had traveled so many different universities and other things that, countries. My parents moved around because of the military, and I didn't know how to read by 4th grade. And it was in 5th grade that a teacher actually went out of her way, made me stay after school every night to read. Mm-hmm. Once they discovered that I was gifted, they wanted to advance me, and my parents would not allow that either. And I am so great because there is another element of being a kid.
Yeah.
That I still am.
Right. Well, I think it's the subject too. I mean, you'll end up doing things just to learn about the subject, like the writing or math. If you're really interested in space and you don't really like math, you're going to learn the math because you want to learn about space.
And the math part is actually
I think it's just
a form of writing.
What they are interested in. And in the typical school, the subjects are all separated. They're not combined, so to speak. So you're learning everything in isolation of each other. So the math is actually a form of writing. And that's what I learned how to do first, although I didn't know it was a type of writing. I just did math. My senior year in college, before I started graduate level, is strictly thousands of pages of math writing. I never wrote explanations. I wrote math, and it's a type of writing. And I didn't look at it that way at the time I was doing it. Now I do see it that way. I can read it like I would a book. Yeah. But to get back to your question, Vincent, if the parents are worried that they're not smart enough or they don't have enough time or patience, I hear patience a lot. I'm not the most patient person, but my children are definitely my best teachers at teaching me patience. And I have more patience now than I had 4 years ago. So, you learn those types of things. And in high school, I don't know if I ever told you this, but in my chemistry class, I actually got an A in chemistry by doing nothing because I was the TA, so I knew how to use the computer and enter the grades in for the teacher, and he didn't want to know how to do it. So I did that in class, and he gave me an A, and I didn't do anything. So it's neat to go back now and have all those chemistry kits and everything, and I'm learning all this stuff right along with the kids. And it's fun, too, for them to know, oh, she's not all-knowing. She is learning just like me. And so it kind of creates a little bit of a bond there, too. So it's really fun.
Missy,
That's
when
a really good explanation, too, about working with the teacher rather than working for the teacher.
Right. Exactly. We have our lessons are actually more cohesive and more friendly when it is like that instead of, because I'm still mom too, so I still tell them, pick this up, clean that, and they kind of get tired of hearing that a lot. So when it comes to a particular lesson, they want to do it their way. And so I've noticed that when it's more natural and more of us just learning together, it's just more positive.
Missy, when you teach via YouTube, do you teach at a computer, or where physically do you teach your YouTube classes in your home?
It's on my iPad. A lot of times we'll snuggle up on the couch and we'll watch the iPad. And it's not all the time. It's just sporadic whenever a question comes up or something, and we'll find different YouTubes.
The reason I ask is we have Rick's been to our home. And in the kitchen, we have a bookcase, and there's a flat screen television. It's about 32 inches. It's not a really big one, but there's a command that you can type in for YouTube, and it's youtube.com/pair, P-A-I-R, and you can send the video to your television, and we all watch it, and the audio comes from the television. I'll tell you more about that when we come back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Yuvia needed financing to grow her restaurant business, but her bank simply didn't understand.
I was frustrated.
Yuvia found On Deck Business Loans.
On Deck did it for me. I called on Saturday and I had $50,000 in my account on Monday morning.
How about the terms?
Incredibly easy. It doesn't mess with your cash flow.
On Deck changed everything.
This company, On Deck, is going to be there for me.
Was it a good move?
I'm looking to increase sales probably 30%.
Been in business for at least a year with $100,000 plus in revenue? On Deck can get you $5,000 to $250,000 in as little as one business day, and they're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau.
On Deck has opened up so many doors for me now. Truly, the sky is the limit. I'm excited.
Apply now at OnDeckLending.com or call 800-326-5430. 800-326-5430. 800-326-5430.
Loan subject to lender approval.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness. The phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it, and that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
Class, we're teaching homeschool today. And Rick Miller's with us. Missy's with us. Matthew's with us. Mason's with us. And you know, where do I fall on the question of homeschooling? Squarely on the side of homeschooling. I'm a homeschooling dad. You know, every day that I spend with our children, and you know, they're over 20 years old now. Every day I spend with them is another lesson. Everything that I do with our children has some educational content. If I'm in the truck with our son, you know, we're talking about all kinds of science, physics, political observations. Everything is a lesson. It really is. And I advocate homeschooling. And so why would you want to send your children to an institution where there are a bunch of thugs and they're at risk of physical harm all the time? Now, if you want to protect them from physical harm, that's easy. You take them to karate classes. And instead of the school schedule running your life, you remove that schedule from your life and you create your own schedule. And I don't want this to appear to be sexist because it apply to moms and dads. The number one highest and best thing I think a mother can do is to raise the family. I really mean that. Dads too. Okay. But typically, you know, dads work, and moms can stay home and, or vice versa. But, you know, if one of you could stay home and raise your children, you'll have a lot less problems later on. Ethics, morals, values, honesty, integrity, you know, that all can be easily demonstrated at home. And it's going to be tough to learn those things in school where you see violence, dishonesty,
you know, one of
cheating.
the reasons my mother sent me to a public school was to have me learn socialization, how to get along with other people and other values and other trips, to include bullies. And I see the advantage and disadvantage with homeschooling and public school, and basically would suggest that both are necessary for a rounded education in getting along. Now, the values at home are not taught at a school. They're incapable of teaching those kinds of values. That's why the family is so important. And it's awfully important to also realize that children are smarter than adults. And while they're not as educated, they're smarter. And so, with that said, there is an exchange that goes on in education between the child and the teacher. And that includes the family and how that family evolves as well as the child in a social situation. And basically, it's important that a child sees other children and what they do differently to get what they really want to be and do. So there's a need for both in some kind of social situation. And basically, I think that mentoring is probably, like Mason and Matthew working together, mentorship type of thing, that there's an exchange going on there as well. So there's a lot of dynamics going on here. And while I don't advocate total homeschooling, some of my most best gifted students that I work with gifted students, are mentors, SIP-oriented, where I don't act as a teacher. I try to act as a mentor, where the kid will learn as much as he can from me and then move to the next mentor. I only have so much to offer.
Class, I put a link on the website, usaprepares.com, about how to play YouTube videos on your television, control it from your computer, search on your computer, and then pair your television with your computer. So you can add to a stack of videos on your PC and just watch them, video after video after video, YouTube. We'll be right back with Missy, Mason, Matthew, and Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Want to listen to your favorite GCN hosts and programs without a radio signal or internet? Just call 605-562-4213. Get instant access to all GCN live feeds right on your phone, anywhere you want, anytime you want. 605-562-4213. It's our way of ensuring everyone has the opportunity to enjoy GCN. 605-562-4213. The future of talk radio. GCN.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of usaprepares.com. We're talking about homeschooling today. We have Missy, our homeschooled mom, Mason, our 4th grader, Matthew, our 5th grader. We're talking about physics classes, and Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. I just have a comment. We have homeschooled here at our farm. The Finelli family has been homeschooling. And some of our children have gone to the public training camp, and we yanked them out. And one of our children, our youngest, had never been to the public training camp. And for socialization, we were challenged with, how do you get socialization into the homeschool equation? That's really simple. You take your children to karate classes. So for 5 years, our children went to karate classes, and 2 of our children are second-degree black belts in Okinawa and Sho and Ryu. And they all went to, one's a green belt, and they all went to the Disney Wide World of Sports National Championship. One of our daughter took second place in fighting in the state and in the region. And One of our children took 8th place in fighting at Disney Wide World of Sports, and another one took 3rd place in fighting at the national championship. So the one who took 3rd place, our youngest, decided he wanted to try the public training camp for high school. He'd never been to school before, and we said, sure, I mean, if you want to do that, okay, that's fine with us. So he went to the public training camp for high school as a freshman, and this is when we moved to Missouri, and he was picked on mercilessly. They called him all kinds of names. He didn't have a girlfriend, so they really, really picked on him. And there were 4 guys in the bathroom shoving him around, the boys' room. 4 guys pushing him from guy to guy to guy, just shoving him around. And he said, it's okay. It's okay. As long as there are only 4 of you, it's okay. And they had no idea what he meant. And finally, I met with the principal and the superintendent, and I said, I just want to let you know, our son is this is 3 months of this. He's probably going to lose his temper. I'm not here to complain. I'm just going to tell you that one of your other students is going to get hurt. And I think it's coming pretty soon. And our son's not going to provoke it. But he's going to put a stop to it. Sure enough, the largest student in the school hit our son, and our son took him down with 1 punch. As simple as that. So, you talk about socialization. Karate schools are a great way to go. Missy's with us, and Matthew Mason and Rick Miller. And Mason, you're in 4th grade. Your question next, please.
How do night goggles work?
Night goggles. Well, there's 2 kinds. There's lunar light, where it amplifies bandwidths that are existing, when night goggles are when there is no light, and now what you're looking at is infrared heat, and you have all our bodies radiate a bunch of different bandwidths of radiation. Specifically, most of us are warm-bodied over a tree, and so you can, by looking at infrared, see things that you can't see in the visible region because of distinguishing signal to noise ratios. Signal to noise is these bandwidths to those bandwidths. And what you're doing with night vision is working with heat signatures over, reflected light radiation signatures of visible light, where you see things. Now, depth perception is another part of this vision thing, where when you look at a tree, sometimes you do not see the branch behind the tree, and it looks like something else. And that's where a heat signature thing can signal to noise and filter out the misinformation that your eyes are receiving. How is this done, night vision? Do you want me to go into that too? Are you interested in how you look at infrared when you can't normally look at infrared? What is your...
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I did in graduate school. I made the night vision goggles at Delaware, and that's where they were made. They were a single stage where you could flop these lenses down like you see in the movies, and what it would do is convert visible light into infrared. And what happened is it was a chip that would allow a variable bandwidth. Now, you won't understand what I'm saying, but what it did is it took light, visible light, and in one step was able to convert it to an infrared analog. And once you did that, you had a distinction between a tank, let's say, that would be dead cold in the middle of a forest, sitting there cold, and you could, as you flew by at Mach 2.4, see the tank in the forest and throw a missile back at it as you were on your way to bomb something. That is what night vision is truly about, converting visible light into infrared and looking at heat signatures. Now, in the near infrared is used in agriculture for chickens. And this is a probable master boom of being able to tell when a chicken's ready to lay an egg or is getting ill. It's used in health for chickens. You can look at their infrared signature, near infrared, and then determine what's right and wrong with the chicken. It is an extremely important tool. True night vision is when there is no real light as far as your eye is concerned, and what you're doing now is looking at heat signatures, like a deer moving through the forest. The deer is much warmer because it has its circulation and blood and things like that, whereas the plant is mostly cold and doesn't have heat radiating from its body like an animal or something else. That's how you spot a tank too, by the way. Even though the tank is dead cold and stopped and turned off, it has bodies inside it. It has other kinds of things inside it that are radiating heat that the forest is not. And if you get very good at it, you can filter noise by signal to noise, where you take the noise ratios or base and just put them down to 0. And now you're looking at variations, and that's how they spot marijuana. If someone is growing, marijuana has a heat signature that's quite different than corn. They all radiate different bandwidths of frequencies. And once you know what they are, you can filter the other out and amplify the heat signature so you can actually clearly see it as what it is.
If someone had the cold or the flu, would you still be able to see the person through the night goggles?
Well, yeah, they're still going to have a heartbeat, and they'll probably have a fever. You'll probably be able to see them easier. You get my idea? You're looking at their heat. If they're sick, there's a high temperature or a difference from 98.6 going up to 99, you would, with night goggles, be able to see the distinctional difference. In fact, in medicine now, they are using similar concepts in what they call MRI and magnetic spin resonance or magnetic resonance. What it is they're looking at variations in bandwidths of frequencies that are being radiated. And when we're sick or have other things going on, you can actually see those in different frequencies from visible light. So there's a lot of application in this, not just as a weapon and looking at it in the forest. That's where it was first used. Now it's always used as a weapon first. So there it is. Sorry.
Mason, I was at a preparedness show in Indiana many weeks ago, and there was a gentleman who had an exhibit with some rifle scopes, and some of them were infrared type scopes, and you could look through this scope without having it mounted to a rifle. You could look at this scope and you could see images of people because they were warmer than their background temperature, meaning the temperature of the air around them, the walls, the floor, was lower than the temperature of the people. And you could see these reddish, yellowish shapes. It wasn't like you could look at them clearly with a telescope, but you could see these images with something as simple as a rifle scope. So the next time, there's a gun show in your area, maybe your parents can take you and your brother, and you'll get a chance to look through these scopes firsthand. The
movies, the Predator movies, where the Predator had various optical devices that he could scan in X band and then infrared band and ultraviolet band. And in the movie, they depict it because it shows the different ways that it looks like in that refrigerated room where they were able to spot him. He would flip over to infrared to look for humans. Background radiation over the radiation coming off the object you're trying to see.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are interested in this technology, I'm pretty darn sure at the Prepper Show on June 20 and 21 in Fletcher, North Carolina, the RK Prepper Shows, there'll be scopes, night vision scopes like this, infrared, available for sale. So just go to the website, usaprepares.com, if you want to see what what I saw. And I'll be there at the next Prepper Show, which is June 20 and 21, and in Fletcher, North Carolina. And that's the RK Prepper Show. So I'll be speaking.
I didn't get invited. Poop.
You want to get invited? You want to get invited?
No,
I know a
they
guy.
didn't invite me this time. Budgets
hey, Rick,
probably. But
Rick, I know a guy. If you want to get invited, let me know, and I'll see if I can make that happen.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah. Okay, we are teaching homeschool, and coming up next, we've got Matthew's next question. Matthew's in 5th grade. Physics questions. We're teaching science, homeschool. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA Plus. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
We're teaching homeschool today. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Missy, our homeschooled mom, Mason, and Matthew. And Rick, just to let you know, I called RK Prepper Shows during the break, and they said that this time they are working with local speakers, so local to North Carolina.
It's okay. I did want to mention that today I'm going to do my first TV with BBC out of England. And it's going to be on agriculture because they want no doom and gloom. I have something very important to tell you. I think that everybody is downgrading things like Richter scale. I don't think that it was a 6.2 that hit Nepal. I think it was more like an 8.2. And actually, with those kinds of deaths and things, they are trying not to scare the public. Now, I have another article that came out just this morning from the Energy News regarding Fukushima, and I'll just read you the title and then we'll get back to homeschool. It says, censored U.S. government emails reveal proposed plan to test West Coast residents for Fukushima fallout. Many cases of cancer may end up being attributed to exposures. Doses could exceed EPA's emergency levels. U.S. Berkeley Nuclear Department. Prompt, that's from them. They said prompt action should be taken. I think that nobody is being told the truth about anything. And that they don't want to scare the public, and so they downgrade the Richter scale on earthquakes. We had one off the coast of Oregon just a couple of days ago. An 8.4 will drop the coastline. And while The Rock and his San Andreas Fault movie is a little bit, you can most likely expect something like this is about to happen. And I'm connecting dots. I do not have access. My pay grade does not allow total awareness of what's going on, but I can tell you, I think they're lying to us.
Okay, Rick, let me put an exclamation point on this. We have been trying to cut our hay for our cows for the winter for the last month, and we have not had more than one day without rain in a month. Okay, it's been drizzling and we cannot cut the hay. And I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to cut hay. Right now, I mean, the most sun we've gotten is partially cloudy. We have not had one sunny day, not one sunny day in a month. And the fields are wet. It's not a good situation for farmers here, and they're all in panic. Seriously. So what's going to happen if we can't cut our hay and other farmers can't cut their hay? The cows will be sold by winter. There'll be a glut on the market. Prices will fall. And then after those cows are slaughtered, to rebuild the herds is going to be very, very expensive. And beef will go up higher than it is today. That's my prediction. If we can't cut our hay and others like us. Back to Mason. Mason, your next question, please.
If I wanted to buy some night goggles, what kind should I get?
There you go.
Well, what are you trying to look at? Your chickens or creepies in the woods sneaking up on you?
Creepies in the woods.
Oh, you think there are creepies in the woods? Well, then I would go for night vision. They do make a distinction between the two. The quality of signal-to-noise ratio will probably be determined by the price of how much you pay. I have not researched brand names, but the agricultural one that's used for livestock is a valuable tool for a farmer. And for creepies in the woods, you're going to probably end up spending at least $400 to $700 right out of the gate. There are knockoffs. Again, it's the specification of signal to noise. That's how good it's going to work. And if you have no light, a signal to noise ratio bandwidth is very, very important. And I noticed that you were also interested in the distinction between the analog and digital forms of light. You can talk about that later if you'd like, because that's an important element in night vision.
Yeah, and, you can look at eBay as a learning tool and type in night vision and look at the different models and read some of the descriptions. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Did you know that drinking pure, high-alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
We're teaching homeschool with Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Missy, Mason, and Matthew. And Mason, you'd been asking questions about night goggles, night vision. We're talking about infrared telescopes. Rick, you had a couple more comments?
I did, but I had something more important I was saying to Grace while we were on commercial. Grace Thorne and Julie are here. I have a similar story about socialization that happened to me when in my first day of high school. I came in as a freshman, and the high school was a brand new high school that had a junior and senior year class. So I came in as a freshman, and they moved a bunch of kids over from Highline. And the bully had heard that I was into judo and other kinds of things, and confronted me in the locker room, third period, first day, and tried to get me in a fight. And I looked at him and knew I couldn't take him. He was like half again as big as I was. Weight matters. And he hit me and called me a chicken. When he turned his head on me, I grabbed a baseball bat and I broke his head open. And I was kicked out of school for 2 weeks. And when the kid got out of the hospital, he got me in the parking lot of the high school and lifted me up with one arm. That's how big he was. He lifted me with one arm and was going to do me. And I just said, you better do a good job because I'll get you again. And he thought about it, put me down, and from then on, I never had to deal with bullies because I was the unknown. I wasn't about size. It's about fear. I'm not afraid to be hurt. That's what most people are afraid of. That's how bullies work at it. If you're not afraid of getting hurt, then you have overcome the real enemy, not the bully.
Well, that's exactly what happened with our son.
This kid was bigger than me. I couldn't take him. Didn't matter how good I was. I knew I couldn't take him. It was wet. We were naked, changing into clothes. It was a risk situation, so I let him hit me. Not afraid to take a blow. He laughed, turned his head, and when he did that, I picked up a baseball bat, and I literally almost killed him. And that's why I was kicked out of school. He was in the hospital with a broken skull. I broke his skull. And I had no fear. I just did it. And that's what makes me a nerd, not a macho. I'm not a macho. I'm a nerd. And you can outthink them. And fear is what their first enemy is. And if he fears you because you're unknown, that's how you do a grizzly bear. You snap a bullwhip in front of it rather than try to shoot it. Shooting it isn't going to kill a grizzly bear. But if he can't figure out how you can reach 9 feet with an Australian bullwhip, he'll stand up, think about it, and it'll spook him. That's the way you do it.
Matthew, you're up next with your next question for Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Are there still analog systems?
Yeah, I like my vinyl records rather than my CDs. Vinyl. Vinyl and the idea of analog means bandwidth because it's a variable, and when you say it's at so many a certain bandwidth frequency, you're actually talking about a bandwidth of 12 cycle to 15 cycle or something like that. It isn't at precisely 13, it's 12 to 15. Analog automatically puts it in specifics and then broadens the bandwidth. That means that in a digital system, the signal to noise ratio is less. And that means you've got a cleaner signal. But I still like my analog.
So what we're talking about is some device that changes values over time. And here's an example. AM radio is analog, and your volume control knob on a radio receiver or a stereo system, if you have a knob to control the volume and it rotates clockwise and counterclockwise, that would be an analog device. And there are plenty of them. And you know, Rick, my mind seems to work a lot better in analog than digital. For example,
it does,
I have two clocks, and this relates to Matthew and Mason as well. I have in front of me two clocks. They're on the wall about, let's say, 10 feet away. One of them looks like an old-fashioned school clock, and it has two hands that are black on a white face with a red second hand that ticks away the seconds. I like looking at that one. Okay, that tells me the time. I was trained how to tell time with an analog clock. To the right of that, I have a digital clock. So right now, the analog clock says 11, 11:40, and 31 seconds. The digital clock says 11:40, and I can read it just on the display. For some reason, I don't particularly like reading the digital display. In front of me...
You'll notice, however, that the analog clock that you're talking about is still digital in the second region. And so that's the bandwidth form of going from analog to digital. And when you go to digital, your actual variation from 1 minute to the next is more precise in terms of the way you record it in your mind to the analog, which gives you more detail, or your signal to noise ratio. You now have it second 1, second 2, second 3, second 4, that kind of thing. You've just simply gone down in your bandwidth base in terms of how you're going to record it. We always do things in digital as when I say, for example, 1 minute to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all digital, but the analog is with more detail or signal to noise ratio.
So
way of filtering information so that you amplify one thing, and in the digital system, what you're amplifying is the distinction between 1 minute and the second, whereas in the analog, you have more detail going in terms of 1 second to the next. But they're both, in some sense, still digital.
And
you can go to tenths of a second. That's what a stopwatch in racing does, for example. And it measures it to a tenth of a second.
I have in front of me
bandwidth.
I have in front of me a computer screen that tells me the modulation of my microphone and the modulation of the signal going out over the air. And I have a choice. I can click on this computer screen a selection that will show me analog meters, and it'll look like an old-fashioned meter, but on my computer screen. And I also can click a digital meter, which is like a bar graph that keeps moving. I don't like the bar graph. I really like the old-fashioned analog meters. And I can select at the click of a mouse which one I'd like, or I can have both of them. But I just don't like seeing the digital display versus the analog. I like the analog better. So those are my
more detail.
Well, and it also gives me the rate of increase and the rate of decrease.
Rate is measured in time. You're giving more detail in the time. That's between the second and the minute. Your analog to digital. So you've got more detail. And in an analog system, it allows you to go down as detailed as you want into a tenth of a second or 1/100th of a second. And one of the things I did was 10 to the minus 9 seconds, nanosecond. There's all digital still in that sense of it.
Matthew, do you have a follow-up component of your question?
Yes, how do you make an analog signal?
how do you make one? I think that an analog signal is already analog, and what you're going to do is determine the signal to noise ratio as to whether or not you call it analog with a lot of detail, and you need to filter that detail, or you call it digital where you don't need it. And I know you're probably not going to understand that until later, but trust me, you'll remember this, because this is the part of analog to digital that is not taught by anybody. And it actually is a relationship of what you choose to be the quality of your bandwidth. How precision is that going from 3-cycle to 4-cycle or 4.2 cycle? And that bandwidth is called the analog, where it smooths the whole thing over, and then digital isolates the one from the other as a signal to noise ratio. And so it has to do with the way you filter things, and then once you filtered it, you amplify the signal you want, and you try to minimize the noise ratio so you can clearly see what's going on. That's the same thing with night vision. When you're looking at a human in the woods, they're a blob. They're not precision like you can see their fingers and so on, because the signal is digital and has less detail than the analog, where you could see the variation of going from yellow, orange, and red.
Matthew, I'm speaking on a microphone, and this microphone is reproducing my voice into an electrical signal, which is an analog signal. And if you've ever looked at a speaker that does not have a grill on it, and you actually look at the speaker itself, you'll see that speaker moving in and out. That's a great way to visualize what an analog signal is. Continuously variable, loud, shows more movement of the speaker. Soft sounds, the speaker doesn't move as much. Low frequencies, the speaker moves slowly compared to high frequencies where you can't even see the speaker moving, but you could kind of put your finger on it lightly and you could feel the vibration. So that would be how I would try to describe a way where you could see the human voice being represented on a computer speaker. We'll be right back. We're talking about science and homeschooling with our 4th and 5th graders. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
In an unpredictable world, it's good to know you are in control of food, your greatest dependency. Go Foods are storable for 25 years, quick fix, non-GMO, kosher, health store quality food at discount store prices delivered to your door. Go Foods is there when you need it most. Feed Your Free to Package is available with up to 3 months of food for free. Call Go Foods at 1-800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Class, we're teaching homeschooling, and I'd like to ask Missy a question. First, I'd like to make a comment. And the question is, for those who have not tried homeschooling, I'd like to get Missy's opinion. But first, you know, if your children are in a government training camp right now, you don't have to just stop the government training camp. You can supplement the government training camp with homeschooling before school, after school, at night, during the weekends, and everything can become a lesson. Turn off the television. Turn off the television unless you're watching specific videos like YouTube videos and educational videos. But turn off the television and supplement what they're learning. And then what you may find is that this is such a great idea that you may want to throw overboard the government training camp and go full-time into homeschooling. Missy, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, that's sort of what I did in the beginning, because I am a reluctant homeschooler. I didn't want to homeschool in the beginning. But seeing my son being bullied at school and coming home with, you know, marks on his body, it just wasn't a good situation. So, what we did is we have charter schools out here, and so they actually went to a charter school a couple of days a week. And I thought, okay, I can handle a couple of days at home and a couple of days of them in school. And so they did that for a full year. But then after that, just the curriculum they were using in that school, I was not happy with. So eventually I brought them home, and we found a co-op, and we found other homeschool classes that they attend. And so that's what I chose to do. But most definitely you can homeschool at night and on weekends. And especially with history curriculum, the history textbooks like to rewrite history. And so we have a lot of other books here that will read the typical history stuff, and then I'll say, well, look at what this other book says. This is the other side of the story. And so that's what I do here. But you can do that even when they're in public school.
You know, it's interesting you say this. At our expo, we had a young man. He was a elementary school student. And the person he gravitated toward at the expo was Harry Cooper. And Harry Cooper was talking about, he wrote a book that Adolf Hitler escaped to Argentina. And this young elementary school student was fascinated by that because he had heard that Adolf Hitler and Adolf Hitler's wife committed suicide at the end of World War II. And Harry Cooper said, absolutely not true. So this young man spent a lot of time over the 2-day weekend with Harry Cooper. I thought that was fascinating. So yes, there is an interest in learning about history at a young level. And, you know, I don't know very many people who have not learned about Adolf Hitler and were interested in who he was and what happened and how he did what he did, even in elementary school.
Well,
so
they don't teach history in elementary school anymore. They teach social studies, and that's totally different than history. And so when I found that out also, and that woke me up a little bit, I said, no, we're going to learn history. We're not going to learn social studies here. And so we started Story of the World, which is a very good history program, curriculum. But then I also supplement even that with other books. We have Truth is a Lonely Warrior, and that's a really good book that talks about different things. And my husband has a huge collection of just various books, history books. And so it's interesting to, you know, they're not going to have a homeschool curriculum or any kind of history curriculum that's going to tell you everything. So you're always going to have to supplement with another book that somebody else wrote. So that's what we do. And you can do that even if they are in public school.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've found homeschooling to be very, very rewarding. And there was a tremendous bond between our children, Mrs. Finelli, and me. And can you imagine this, class? Can you imagine talking with your children who are older than 20 years old, and if you're on the phone with them, they say, okay, I love you at the end of a telephone call? Can you imagine that? Love you, Dad. Love you, Mom. Can you imagine that? Wouldn't that be nice? Well, that happens to us every day. And you can have it happen to you, too. And it requires bonding with your children. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, thanks so much for being with us. Missy, Matthew, Mason, thank you so much.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state in back taxes, you know they'll never stop coming after you. With bank levies, wage garnishments, they'll even seize your home or business. The good news? A government program for tax debt forgiveness. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative.
I'm Paul Sibley with U.S. Tax Shield. We can help navigate the new laws, get you protected, and resolve your tax issues permanently.
Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield now for your free consultation and get a guaranteed quote to resolve your case. Call 800-436-6451. That's 800-436-6451.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendo.